One of the most popular type of topics and stories that I do on my channel are kind of the F around and find out type stories. And I think it's been a really interesting time here in America, or probably the West similarly, where a lot of people are effing around and finding out, in particular as it relates to what's going on over in the Middle East. You've seen people like Ethan Klein find out in real time that the very far leftists he's been courting over the past 2 years are cheering for the people that are invading his country, and that are doing the terrible things, I should say. And that was a very real moment, I think, when he realized that in the live stream that half his chat was cheering for Hamas. And you end up with a lot of university students too, who now are deciding that they want to get out there. These are woke, super rich college brats. Okay, these are Harvard students and New York University students. New York, these are very, very, rich kids. Harvard students will now be blacklisted by Wall Street after joining 31 organizations that blamed Israel for the Palestine war. Now, obviously, you'd have to really do a deep dive to be an expert on the long 1,000-year war that's been going on between these two people. Certainly, none of these college-age kids are probably very well educated on it. But there's a group of Harvard students who now blame Israel for what Hamas did, and now has their own future thrown into doubt as a host of blue chip CEOs declared them unemployable. This is when keeping it real goes wrong. The elite university faced a massive backlash after 31 of its student societies issued a joint statement holding the Israel regime entirely responsible for the unfolding events. The Anti-Defamation League denounced the statement as anti-Semitic, and others accused the university of being tolerant of hate speech. What I think is this is what's really happening here. What's interesting is you have these two people are usually on the same side. People like the ADL and woke ideology, right? They're the ones that said Pepe was a bad symbol, and they thought that the OK hand symbol was had to be banned. All these insane drinking milk is a symbol of supremacy. This is what the ADL normally does. Okay, so normally the woke hate speech weirdos and the organizations like the ADL or the SPLU, whatever it is. The Southern Poverty Law Center, so whatever it is, SPLC. These people are all on the same team, but now there's this wild infighting going on between them because of Israel, because it's the one thing. Because these very same woke, pro-censorship weirdos. This is the one breaking point, and a lot of people are waking up to it. A lot of people figuring out organizations like BLM. How many Jewish organizations donated millions of dollars to BLM? And now they're like, oops, they actually hate us. Wall Street appears to be less forgiving, with billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman revealing that his fellow bosses want to know who they are, so none of us will inadvertently hire any of their members. The CEO of Pershing Square Capital Management said he had been approached by a number of CEOs, adding, one should not be able to hide behind a corporate shield when issuing statements supporting the actions of Terry's, who we now learn have, of course, the baby story, among other inconceivably despicable acts. Jonathan Naiman, CEO of food chain Sweetgreen, agreed, tweeting, he would like to know so I never hire these people. Dove Hill Capital Management CEO Jack Wurzak supported the call, and Easy Healthcare Services CEO David Dool responded, same. I mean, this is when keeping it real goes wrong. These are the same kids, by the way, that run these companies. In their statement on Sunday, the group said that the attack, which left more than 1,000 perishing, did not happen in a vacuum, and claimed that the Israeli government has forced Palestinians to live in an open-air prison for over 2 decades. Quote, the apartheid regime is the only one to blame. Israeli bad behavior has structured every aspect of Palestinian existence for over 75 years. I feel like you can say, you can say this without supporting the acts of Terry's. I feel like you can do that. But I think what the issue is, deep down, they support it. That's my opinion. Is deep down, these leftists support it, which is now open air, in direct competition with what, a lot of these woke corporations want. You can say anything you want of just about anybody, except trans people and Jewish people. That's a life ruiner. That's essentially, that's what they're saying. Now you said this, and now we'll never hire you. From systematized land seizures, routine airstrikes, arbitrary detentions, and military checkpoints, and enforced family separations, Palestinians have been forced to live in a state of death, both slow and sudden. Among the names emerged so far are Shar Lovett Gaff, founder of University's Jews for Liberation, Bengali Association co-treasurer Shifa Hussein, and Fatima Al-Mayer of Harvard's Middle Eastern and North African Student Association. I mean, look, these universities have been importing like radical people from the Middle East for a long time. I mean, this is nuts. And it's always like these, Veritas, Harvard schools, Harvard supports Israeli apartheid wearing the Palestinian flag. I mean, it's insane. Here, NYU, New York Law Student president says Israel bears full responsibility for what happened to them, and it cost her a cushy lawyer job offer. All these people forgot. All these people forgot. The president of New York University's Student Bar Association lost a cushy job after sending an incendiary pro-Hamas message on Tuesday, cheering on what happened to civilians. Raina Workman also accused the, quote, Jewish state of terrible things. You see this? The elected student president of the NYU School Bar Association just sent out a message refusing to condemn Hamas's actions and effectively cheerleading it. It struck me as inappropriate, especially considering the number of people and the fact that so many Israelis are being held captive, said freshman who declined to tell his name. Good idea. You shouldn't probably do that. You're free to have an opinion, but to voice it so publicly, so unequivocally, without even acknowledging that a literal terrible event took place is, at the very least, insensitive, he said. I mean, a few hours after Workman's message was publicized, the law firm of Winston and Strawn released a statement and said that about their inflammatory comments regarding Hamas's attack, and accordingly, the firm has now rescinded the law student's offer of employment. I mean, all around you, these like the wokies are finding out. The same people that are woke and generally are on the same side of censorship and all sorts of stuff like that. Now they're like, oh, wait a minute. These people, the people on the left, far leftists, probably uh probably hate us. They've always hated us. I don't even understand exactly what's going on. Um but I do know that this is a very interesting time. It's a very interesting time where two allies of kind of the woke ideology are now finding out that they actually hate each other. And there's going to be some interesting there's going to be some interesting results.